So the first thing we're going to do is open Google Play, and we're going to install Monkey Ball. So just searching now for the game on the store, and here it is. Just wait for it to load a little bit, and there it is. There's the right one. Now normally you'll have to buy it, but I've already bought it at this point, so you just literally have to install, and then it starts downloading. And while it's downloading, let's have a look at some of the little advertisements for the game. Here's one. You know, you can just see all of them here. This is talking about mini games. That's a picture of the bowling mini game that's included, and that's just a general kind of Sega advert. Yeah, this one is talking about Far East, which is the new thing in Sakura Edition, and this just gives the number of stages. Now here we can see all the information about the game that Sega decided to put on Google Play Store. So, you know, I mean, you guys can go away and read that for yourselves. So now we're just going to skip forward a little bit after this, because I was just waiting for the download to finish. So yeah, now we've moved forward a bit. Let's just have a look at the reviews. Unfortunately, some people have got some quite bad reviews here, but you know, never mind. Gosh, it's being a bit slow. Here's some other Sega games and things which people also installed. Just, you know, something to look at while it's installing, I suppose. Talking about the different mini games. There's 4 different mini games included with the main game. Obviously, we'll be focusing mainly on the main game, but I'm gonna look through the mini games as well. Now I think let's go and have a look at the video for the game. It's almost finished downloading now, but I'm going to have a look at that. Now unfortunately there was a bit of buffering here, which is a bit annoying, but you'll see in a minute. So yeah, the video launches in YouTube. Don't have a choice about that. That's obviously just the Google Play configuration. Yeah, you can see in the notification bar there the progress of the download, and now it's installing. You can see there in the notification bar. It's pretty quick to install. Alright, now this is the YouTube video. And then now it's stopped, it's buffering. Really annoying how it started buffering so much. And actually took me a while to figure out how to switch it to low definition, because there's no point it being high definition. The setup that I'm using doesn't support high definition, so after a while I figured out how to actually change it to low definition. It's not exactly the same as in the normal YouTube. Obviously this is running through an HDMI cable. If you're interested, the setup I'm using is I'm using a Samsung MHL to HDMI adapter, and I'm using a ViewHD HDMI to S-Video adapter, and then I'm also using a EZCap USB input for my laptop. Mimi! Baby! It's pretty cool how you know, the input automatically comes up in this big screen format. I think at this point, just after this buffering, is where I got it to actually set to proper low definition. You can see here a stage from the first world, and you know, it just goes through the stages from each of the different worlds in this video. we'll see those in a bit more detail in the next instalment of my playthrough. Almost there. So I got this. So here's one from the second world, third world, fourth world, and the fifth world. And yeah, there's also the Far East, which is a special world. That's really the flagship world of this particular edition. Then there's mini games, monkey bowling, monkey target, monkey golf, and there's an additional one just for tablets, which is monkey base. I don't actually have a tablet. I'm playing this off a phone, so yeah, and that's just saying that you can get it from iOS and Android. So having done that, we can go out of Google Play now, and we can actually start the application. Now, when you start it, the first thing it does is download the root file, which presumably contains information about how big the rest of the game is, and then it asks you where you want to download the game data to. Now, I started off downloading it to the flash memory. As we'll see in a couple of minutes, it wasn't a particularly good idea. Normally I keep my downloads on the flash memory because, you know, I like to have my SD card free for, you know, all sorts of other files. So anyway, the first sort of hurdle that we hit was it kind of froze. The download froze at this point. So, you know, we're just going to skip forward a bit. Alright, yeah, it took me nearly 4 minutes to notice this. Now, yeah, I just pulled that down, which you do by just dragging from the top of the screen. You can actually pull down the notification bar even here, just to check my Wi-Fi was still on, which it was, so that's not the problem. And I think really this was probably just a connection issue. Just exited the application, and I just you know, moved the phone around to a place I could get better reception. And really I just wanted to show you this bit because when we, well, yeah, it doesn't show up in the recently used applications, so we're going to have to open up the application from here. But when we launch it, it goes straight back to the file that we were just on, which is really helpful, so you don't have to go right back to the beginning. And as we'll see in a sec, this file now, well, we've already got past where we were before, and it seems to work okay. So after this, I'm just going to skip forward a bit to later on in the download process, because you don't want to see while all 71 zips download, because that's going to be incredibly boring. So let's just skip forward a little bit after this. By the way, that tree there is from the Sakura Edition, from the Far East world. And yeah, that tree is pretty cool, and it's in that world. Now, after you've finished all the download, you get the unzips, but unfortunately on the second one I got this right error. It's really weird. I still haven't really worked out what that is. So yeah, my first resort was, well, I'll just check that I literally have got enough storage. I don't know why I wouldn't. So I had a look, and sure enough, I've got 38 gigabytes of storage available. So I think that's about enough. So you know, it was really kind of confusing to me. So I thought, well, I'll just go back into the app. It should be okay. You know, maybe it was just a glitch. But nope. Get the right error again. And again. And again. So there's obviously something seriously wrong here. So it was really quite frustrating, because already at this point I've been downloading for an hour, took an hour to download all that data. I think well, we'll see in a minute. Yeah, I think the reason it was so slow is probably partly my connection, but also partly Sega's download servers are actually notoriously slow. So I've just skipped forward a little bit because, you know, I was Googling to find out what to do, if anyone knew. First thing I did was I went into here and I try and find the files. I think try and figure out actually where they are in the file system, and then so I'm just searching for the offending file here. Maybe I thought, well, I can unzip them myself. Here I'm using EF file manager, by the way, my favourite sort of file manager. Only here there's a little bug in it, which is quite annoying. The search didn't display correctly in the interface, so I just opened it from here, and unfortunately there was literally no file there. I'm just going to skip forward again a bit. So yeah, the next thing I did was launch this app, Disk Usage. Disk Usage is a tool that I use to find out where the space is used up on my device. So I just went into here to see if there was any other bottlenecks. You know, at this point I was completely confused, and as you can see, it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm kind of you know, trying everything to try and figure out what on earth's going on here. But as you'll see quite quickly, I figure out where the files are. So this is in what Disk Usage calls storage card, but this is actually my flash memory. And you can see there SMB2 SE, which is Super Monkey Ball 2 Sakura Edition, and that space is actually used up by the compressed archives that's used by the game. So that's using about 245 megabytes compressed, and then obviously it's trying to uncompress them to give 579. So that's where they are. They're in a, you know, an area of the phone that's not accessible to me. So that explains that at least. So I've just skipped forward again a bit, gone back to here, and my next thought was, well, I'll just restart the phone. So I'm just restarting now, and as you'll see in a sec, I'll lose the signal. Again, for anyone who's interested in the way in which I'm recording this, that no signal message is actually being displayed by the View HD. So it's not receiving a signal from the Samsung MHL to HDMI adapter, and so it's displaying that message. That's just while the phone's restarting. It is not actually sending the MHL signal. So yeah, and there we go, it's booted up again. And at this point I was really still quite hopeful that I'd be able to recover it. I mean, unfortunately this whole thing is a little bit out of my hands really, because, you know, it's a proprietary thing by Sega, and, you know, they've obviously got a bit of a bug in their software or something like that. So, you know, I didn't really want to spend an hour downloading all the files again, but as you'll see in a sec, ultimately that's what I really had to do. And luckily it didn't take that long. I think because it was later at night, then Sega's download servers were probably a little bit less busy. So yeah, let's go and try the app again. You know, hopeful. But no. Even after, you know, restarting the app, the entire phone, it still doesn't work. So, you know, at this point I realised that we've got a pretty serious problem. So I think I knew really that I had to redo the app, re-download all the data, and the way to do that, in case anyone else has this same problem, is to just clear the data from within Android. So I'm just double checking the space that's used by applications here, but it's also helpful so I can actually access the application record within Android. And as you can see, I've got a lot of apps on this phone. Takes me a bit to get to it. So there it is. Sega obviously didn't want to put a descriptive name, so they've just put it as SMB2SE in here, which is a little bit strange, but anyway. You can see there that the data and the way it's being used, and I'm just going to delete everything. Obviously it doesn't have any settings in yet, it literally just has the data that's downloaded from Sega's download service. So now I'm just going to go back into it and we'll download the root file again, and then this time we're going to download it from the SD card. So we go back into this whole process again. Incidentally, while we're here, you can see that the characters there, you probably saw from the video, you've got I, Mimi, Baby and Gongon. Baby is kind of quite cutely there, standing on a little pedestal. Gongon is actually my favourite character, so I always play as Gongon in the games. There's actually a carryover from when I used to play Super Monkey Ball on GameCube. So, you know, it's actually I used to play Super Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2 all the time. I haven't really played any of the ones in between. I played the Wii one a little bit, the first one, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, but this is really the first Super Monkey Ball game I've played for quite a long time. So unbelievable, we got this error again. Obviously I've skipped forward a little bit there, up to pack 54. And as you see there, my Wi-Fi just came back on, so I think maybe my connection dropped, and Sega just reports that as a write error, which is a little bit annoying. But obviously at this point I was kind of tearing my hair out, thinking, well, if I can't install on the flash memory and if I can't install on my SD card, then, you know, I can't play this game. But luckily it was alright. I literally just closed it and then restarted the application, and you know, it seems to download properly this time. I don't know what's this thing with the pink trees. I think they're meant to represent the Far East in some way, but I'm not exactly sure what. I think it might be a bit of a Japanese thing. Anyway, I'm just going to skip forward in a minute to the point where it's unzipping. I mean, we've seen all the rest, transitioning to the unzipping and everything like that. So, yeah, so 71, final one, and game data downloaded successfully. And then the game will automatically start. I'm going to split this now into another video so people can see the next part where I'm going to introduce the game, but this is really just where we get the title screen, and yeah, see you in the next video.